Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my Out of the Park Baseball 22 series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And basically after pretty much a 2-week break, I'm back to posting the series. I'm actually done with school, my school semester. I forget if I mentioned this, but I'm currently a college student. So I was quite busy over the past course of the semester, but it's now over, so I should be able to upload pretty regularly, and I plan on starting my MLB The Show 21. I do have a next-gen console, so I will be soon putting out a video on that. I know that I said quite a bit ago that I would be posting series, but of course then there's the whole thing with the OSFM rosters not being available right at the jump. Of course, the roster vault was messed up, so the rosters couldn't even be released really even close to release date. However, that seems to be resolved, so I should be able to get a series up. I know it's pretty late to start posting that kind of thing, but I just want to play the game and just really see how it is on next gen. So I do plan on doing that, but this series will not be going anywhere. I should be continually posting a bunch of this series, and then also adding the show 21, and that's pretty much all I have planned for the summer at this point. I'm not sure if I'll be playing any other games on the channel, but those two for sure will be guaranteed. And now just jumping right into the actual game that we have at hand here. Of course, our second season finished up. We, if you don't remember, had a pretty good season, 76 and 86. Lots of improvements this year. And pretty interesting World Series champion here, the Minnesota Twins. It's kind of a season recap here. They ended up taking home the World Series there. I mean, they have a lot of pretty good guys here. Luis Arias, Alex Kirilloff, Sano had a pretty good season as well. I mean, that offense is just pretty high-powered, as you can see from all the guys there. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, well, Astudo here, he actually had a pretty good season. Of course, not the best defensive rated catcher, but in this game, he has been an absolute beast, as you can see, since this save started. And they also have some pretty decent pitching here. I mean, really not the best, but serviceable enough for how good their offense was. And they, of course, beat the Dodgers. Other than that, there's not too much here that's surprising, of course. Something that is, I mean, of course, the Twins winning the World Series is pretty surprising, I guess you could say. But the Orioles are in here, which is kind of interesting. I'm not quite sure how they were able to make their way in here. Let's take a look at their roster pretty quick. I mean, their pitching was really not too great. They got some pretty decent bullpen looks. DL Hall is a pretty good guy for them, so pretty good back into the bullpen. Austin Hayes is a good player for them, and some injured pitchers there. But it looks like they really did have some very key guys who came up and ended up being pretty amazing for them. McKenna, he actually did pretty decent for them. Rutschman, of course, he's up now in the major leagues, and he had a pretty fantastic first full season, it looks like. Ryan Mountcastle also had a pretty ridiculous offensive season at first base for them. And of course, they've got Austin Hayes. Actually looks like he missed a good chunk of this season. Anthony Santander had a good season there. He's actually had back-to-back good seasons in the OOTP world of this game. Not too amazing stuff here at the bottom, so it's kind of curious to me. Okay, so it looks like they actually, they were an 85-win team that made it into the second wildcard spot, so they really, weren't that great of a team. I'd probably assume they played above the win expectancy a bit, but again, I'm trying to go through this a little bit quickly, because of course I don't want to spend too much of time around the league. Mariners were a team who also made huge strides. They actually won their division by quite a bit. Looks like the future is coming pretty quickly in the Mariners, for the Mariners and in the OTP world. Lots of good pitching here. Gonzalez, Gilbert, Duggar, Margavicius, and Hancock. All these guys, pretty good pitching for them. They've got Ken Giles anchoring their bullpen. Munoz is a pretty good young pitcher for them. They have Justice Sheffield who pitched well, White and Mills. Lots of pretty good guys here. Even Kikuchi fared pretty well in the bullpen for them this season. As for the lineup, good amount of pretty good players right here. I mean, Trammell was good. Koenig was good. Rodriguez, he's up. He's performed pretty well for his first full season. Looks like they somehow have Jose Abreu Looks like they traded for him mid-season. He had a ridiculous year. Shed Long, not so much. Kyle Lewis had a pretty decent year for them. He's actually in center field, which is kind of interesting that they're playing. I guess Koenig's defensive ratings aren't too good in this year's game, so I guess it makes sense to play him there. J.P. Crawford had a pretty decent offensive season for him. Dylan Moore was a decent offensive contributor. So yeah, this team, I can definitely see how they made some strides and were able to get to the top of their division. Now we're going to just take a quick look at some stats around the league. There's some leaders. Alex Kirilloff led the league in average. Lots of guys that we pretty much expect, pretty much besides Rudy Tellez there. Ryan Mountcastle in here. Lots of guys here developing. See Eli Jimenez, of course, got hurt in this real-life season, but he's up there. Gavin Lux looks like, yeah, he's always rated pretty highly in the OOTP games. Much better than he's performed in real life to this point. Trey Turner also up there in RBI. Wow, they must be batting him in a more of a run-producing spot. Leadoff, Pavin Smith here, or Pavin Smith, however you say it. Very good. Varsho, he's up here in this leaderboard as well. War-wise, around the league here, the best hitters. Tatis Jr. I was just curious there how he was rated defensively in this game, which is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, pretty unsurprising here. I mean, guys who you could, of course, pretty much see. Abreu had a very good offensive season. So even though he's a first baseman, he was able to get in there. Jose Iglesias hit 58 doubles. A very good 2020 season. Definitely bolstered his ratings in this game. Definitely inflated them probably higher than they should be. But, yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. Him hitting 58 doubles. It's pretty nuts. Same with Nick Ahmed here. He was really not that fantastic of a hitter. Yeah, I mean, you can see a lot of the stuff isn't too unexpected. Mike Muncy here lead the league in walks. Hoskins right behind him. Of course, two guys who walk a lot in real life. Coe actually led the league in sack flies. So, wow, and like Hayes and Reynolds, lots of sack flies for the Pirates this year, apparently. So that's pretty much all I'm going to go over for that. Then we'll look at pitching leaders real quick. Again, I think it's pretty cool to look around the league here, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. And then you can see here, Trevor Bauer somehow made it to the Giants. I guess his extension didn't kick in, at least when I started playing this OTP save. ERA, Bueller, Woodruff, Luzardo, McKay. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. Bueller, Kershaw with a good season there. Wow, yeah, lots of Dodgers at the top here, pitching wise, which is to be pretty expected. I don't want to go too over this. Chris Sale, best whip, also looks like he missed a good chunk of time. See if we can look at strikeouts here. Robbie Ray was a good chunk ahead of everyone in the strikeouts department. A little bit in the actual counting of that. FIP-wise, Bueller, Kershaw, Logan Webb, which is kind of surprising there. Other than that, not too surprising. So yeah, that's it for the recap. Hopefully that didn't take too long for everyone. But of course, now we have the big part of the off season here. Pretty much getting to, of course, bringing the guys back that we want to have back. And already here, there are probably some pretty tough decisions. Colin Moran was $3.6 million. Not too sure about that. Alford, we're going to get rid of him. Not going to pay him anything over the minimum. Kevin Newman, also probably don't want to bring him back. How much team control? I mean, Kevin Newman is just not very good. We're just gonna withdraw an offer from him right there. I just don't want to have to be paying him something like that. Other than that, I think I'm pretty fine with everything else. I mean, I really don't want to play Moran, but pay Moran that money, but I don't know really what else we would maybe spend it on. Brault, I definitely want to. I mean, I'm just not going to pay him. I'm going to try to shop him around, see if we can get anything. And then, if not, I'm just going to not give him an offer because I'm definitely not paying him $6 million, especially with how much his ratings have declined. And as you can see, there's really not many offers here at all, and that are even, I mean, remotely interesting. So, I mean, Leclerc is here. Maybe if I could get him on get the Rangers, to retain a good chunk of salary, I would take him in. But other than that, I think it'd be best just to not bring Brault back. Leclerc's they're not gonna retain that much money on him, so we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of Brault. Then kind of sucks to see, especially after his good season, but that good season just inflated his money that he was expecting, and then of course he had a pretty poor season this last year. Inciarte, I'd be interested in bringing him back. Definitely not a 3-year deal, but I definitely would consider a 1-year deal. We have a bit of money to play with to sign some guys this year. Taylor Rogers. I don't really want to bring him back for $9 million. But yeah, I think. I would be open to bring him back, but I'm just not sure. Just kind of quick, want to take a catalog of kind of our team at this point. And see what we really need. We really could use an extra infielder. I don't think we really have anyone that we would really want to play up the middle. Of course, we have Cole Tucker, Almaez, and we won't bring back Solano or Newman. So we need help up the middle of the infield, second base, shortstop, that kind of thing. Could use someone who can play center field. If it's not in, we'll look to bring someone else in. If not, I'd be comfortable with bringing Ciarte back. Reynolds and Bowers will continue their starting roles in left and right. Will assume first base again. It might be ideal to get rid of Stallings, especially if with Rortvet's progression, but I'm just not sure if I want to do that this exact moment. So we'll probably wait later in the offseason. I'm fine with Stallings making the money that he would make. And then pitching wise, I'm just probably maybe bringing in a depth starter. We definitely could use one more starter, although we're going to have some guys in the pipeline that can come up this year. Priester's about ready. Rocker's about ready. So there's 2 pitchers that could fill starting spots, and that should fill starting spots. O'Neal Cruz is 24 now, not 34. So he should most likely get a shot somewhere. His ratings have progressed at third base. Of course, we don't really have room for him at third base. I probably will have him play a little bit of corner outfield. So say Bowers or Reynolds don't really hit. I could bring Cruz up to take those spots, and he could also be a good bat off the bench. So I'd be interested in kind of bringing him up in that role as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the planning for that now, or kind of all I wanted to say about my off-season plan. Now I'll go ahead and skip to some of the awards, but actually I just thought of this before that. We have some personnel vacancies here. A pitching coach for the major league team, then a lot of guys who a lot of spots available for minor leagues, which I won't go over all of those. Just basically all you need to know about those, or I'm looking for guys who are better at teaching younger players. So I'm going to get guys who prefer to work with younger players, and I want to work with guys who will be able to go more towards the style of patience and most likely power pitchers or ground ballers. I especially like having ground ballers in this game because I feel like they are pretty effective. So I think that's basically all you need to know about that. I'm not going to go in detail about all of those guys. What I will show here is kind of what I'm thinking pitching coach wise, because we do need a new pitching coach. The major league roster, and there's really not too much here. Kind of interesting here. I'm not quite sure. Of course, they overhauled the coaching system. I definitely want a guy who will be able to develop players pretty well. Like Rick Adair here, he is very good at actually teaching pitching, but his handling, development, and influencing mechanics isn't really that good. So maybe I would be better off getting more of a guy like Bergeson here, who is better at handling development, still good at pretty good at teaching pitching, but also is interested in that. So I think I honestly might go with him here, at least try to offer him a contract. He would be interested, and Adair would also be interested. Keep looking further here. Honestly, this Willens Moreno guy actually looks pretty good. I think I honestly might go ahead and offer him, and I'm going to go ahead and do that just because I think he's pretty interesting. I'm ready to realize he's also good at teaching pitching, but he also is good with and develop in mechanics, so I think that it is a good choice to go ahead and go with him. So actually, after further sorting, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and offer someone else. I found this Marcus Moore guy who is pretty insane pitching-wise. I want to go ahead and offer him. I mean, he's a legendary teacher pitching, legendary development mechanics. His reputation is unproven, but hey, if it doesn't work out, I mean, you know, he could always grow that reputation. Reputation is based on what they previously have done, and he's also cheaper, so we're going to go ahead and offer him. Then also, I'll go ahead and offer a bunch of guys off camera, minor league wise, and then we'll go ahead and get into the season awards. Alright, so now we've reached the end of the awards that are available, and they still didn't come up in my inbox, so I'm not quite sure, but we can figure it out through the news here. So we'll just go ahead and look at the winners this way. So we're quickly going to go through around the league. Lindor, again, the extension didn't go through, so Lindor was a free agent, and he chose to go to the Astros. He has not performed very well since he left Cleveland in the sim, so very interesting to see how his career plays out. Of course, he's not doing very well in real life right now, so hopefully he doesn't continue to perform this poorly in real life. Rosarina wins a Gold Glove there. I think a lot of these are not very out of the ordinary. Brian Reynolds gets another Gold Glove, or gets his first Gold Glove here. That's right, Adam Frazier won one for us last year. And Brian Reynolds, of course, he's very good in left field, so good to see that he won one. Of course, it's probably his best asset since he hasn't really been hitting. It doesn't really profile as a corner outfield bat anyways. Reliever of the year in the American League goes to Castillo, and the NL reliever of the year went to A.J. Mitter, who had a good season as a lefty for the Atlanta Braves. Also, go ahead and look at these Silver Sluggers or Platinum Sticks. Jared Koenig takes one home in his second full season. He played pretty much a full season last year. Nothing too surprising here, really. Lots of players, except for maybe Brady Tellez, who may be a bit of a surprise, although he did have a good 2020. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs. Alec Boehm had a pretty good season. He's rated pretty decently offensively in this game, at least. And then Gavin Lux wins one. Cam Gallagher, I'm not quite sure who that is, but he was able to take home a Silver Slugger this year. Trent Grisham for the Padres in center field. Acuna Jr., Marcelo Ozuna, Tatis. Not a lot of surprises there. Top rookies, Jarren Duran, who the Red Sox organization takes it home. He is a pretty nice little prospect for the Red Sox. If you don't know who he is, Kyle Isbell and Royce Lewis also were eligible and finished second and third. For the National League, it was Pavin Smith, who had a very good season, hit over 318 homers and 74 RBI. Our own guy, he got some votes himself. Of course, he had a down season compared to what we hoped that he would have, but still a fine first major league season, I would assume. And Rortvedt was not second. He was the last guy receiving votes. Of course, he's very highly rated, and a catcher. Of course, as a catcher, you don't receive the everyday playing time, and it looks like that probably prohibited him from winning, although he did have a pretty decent offensive season, especially for a catcher. NL Manager of the Year goes to the Roberts. Not surprised, Dodgers were the best team in the National League, and Kevin Cash of the Rays gets it. Also not surprising, they were the best record in the American League. More awards. Luzardo wins the AL Cy Young. Pretty cool to see there. Brendan McKay actually second. He's not very highly rated in this game. That's kind of interesting. Chris Sale is third. Shane Bieber not really in there. Looks like he had a good season, but was hurt for a lot of it, so he was not able to defend his title there. Walker Buehler gets it. 4 Dodgers were the top vote getters. Pretty nuts. Their pitching is insane. Speaking of insane pitching, the Padres also had 3 guys in there. So big NL West battle there in the American League. Jose Abreu takes home the MVP. So that's his second MVP. Of course, winning it in the short 2020 season. Now taking it home again in 2022. Alex Kirilloff second, Jose Ramirez third, Tatis Jr. takes home his first MVP, Acuna Jr. finishes second, fellow Brave Freeman finishes third, and that's about that for looking at the awards. So not too much is surprising, and before we quickly get out of this video, I do want to go over kind of the free agents that are available. I don't want to make this video too long, but I do feel it's important to go over this sort of stuff right now. So kind of looking, we have about $28 million to play with, which is a good chunk of change. There are definitely some interesting free agents available here. I mean, DeGrom is here and he's demanding $28 million per year, of course. We are Pittsburgh, we are a small market, probably would be hard to, and not very realistic for a guy like that to come aboard. So definitely interesting. Xander Bogart is a guy I could be interested in at second base. He's a guy who could help fill in up the middle. Of course, he's not the best defensive shortstop, but I would be fine with him at second base. Kiermaier's up here actually demanding a good bit. He has had okay offensive seasons. Of course, he's a great defensive player. Yeah, honestly, not too much that I'm particularly interested in up here. So I'll definitely have to do a little bit of work off camera to kind of figure out what direction I want to go in. But that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you're excited for my MLB The Show 21 series that I plan to get started up here in a bit, and can't wait to continue this series and get to post pretty frequently, and much more frequently than I've been. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.